What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I want to talk about the all-in-one presets and give my feedback on what they could change. So when it first came out, or when I first heard about it during the Global Lab notes, I was so excited. But then when it finally came out, it felt like it was missing a lot of things. So I wanted to give them a couple of weeks, maybe listen to, feedback from the Koreans, and also people from everywhere else who is like playing from different regions, and thinking about, okay, after a few weeks, maybe they'll take some feedback, change it, or talk about it at all. But we haven't heard anything. So I wanted to make a video about this and just basically giving constructive criticism and how they can go about fixing it. So if anyone from Pearl Abyss is watching this video, maybe send it to the Korean team and see what they're going to talk about. So I think this is something that is going to affect everyone, simply because it's, it's supposed to be an all-in-one preset, and whether you're a life skiller, a grinder, PvPer, this is going to affect you. And I wanted to talk about why this kind of fell off in a way. So first and foremost, it doesn't have everything we wanted. So when you are grinding, for example, all this does is just set the preset, but it doesn't do what the players wanted it to do. And let me talk about that. So let's go down and run through everything you do when you're grinding. So first of all, when you're grinding, what do? You turn on your alchemy stone. This could be a button, like you see the shortcut. They could just have a checkbox and then be like, okay, so you hit the apply button, and then it just turns it on for your grinding. You turn it on and off. It disables that. Next thing we do is you go to your pet list and you turn your pets into agile. No matter how many overall groups you have. Generally, I think most people have like between 1 or 2 groups in general: life skilling, PvEing, maybe PvPing. Either way, what the all-in-one does is it just sets the group. What I would like to see it do is have an option to turn it into like normal or agile or whatever, anything else. So that's just an overall good thing if you wanted to. And if you're a life skiller, it doesn't really matter. But either way, that's just another option. And what else do? You have to, I would like to see it turn on your fairy. Like if you have continuous care, I would like to see it more than just switch your preset. I would like to have it activate as well, which it doesn't do itself. So aside from that, you're also popping manual buffs from your family if you have it as well. That's not a big deal itself, but it's just missing the core elements of what the all-in-one preset, I think, should have been. So let's talk about it and how I think we can change it. So auto use items preset. So how does this work? If you open it, it basically selects one of the 3 presets you have. So whether you're a life skiller, grinder, PvPer, I think this is fine, but I think they could go above and beyond and actually have it. So like here, have this check mark right here, and it has this exact thing. Auto use items. Have this like right here and be like, have you click it and have the checkbox. And then when you hit that apply button at the end, it just turns it on. And then maybe have another option over here in the UI instead of like change, or like next to change name. It'd be like on or off. So like when you're done with your grind, you could just turn it off and it just stops like normal. All right, so skill preset. Honestly, this one felt like kind of a useless one. Quite honestly, even if you have all 5 of them, chances are most people are not switching back and forth between them every like hour or so. So I'm glad they have it, but it just felt like they could have used this spot for something else. And I think this one itself is fine. So also, isn't there a thing where if the skill preset, does it change if you don't have what is one of the buffs that it comes with? Like the Secret Book of Old Moon, does it charge you to use it if you're like just randomly swapping it? I don't know. But I don't know how that works. So does this only swap if you don't have the Old Moon book and you're in town? Anyway, next, pet group. I think this is fine itself. I think there should be another option that, like, we talked about having it set from cautious to normal to agile, and then maybe go above and beyond and be like, okay, so do you want to have the pet commands on or off? I think that would go above and beyond of what, like, this is, because I think realistically, it's just most people aren't really swapping this out as much. I think most people, like, especially like newer players, you only have one set. Like, let's say you're a free to play or like you're new to the game, you probably only have one set of pets. And even if you're a veteran player, you probably have things set up based on your specifically what you're doing and like your best pets versus min-maxed pets. But it's just a small thing. I think overall having it set to agile is the most important thing, because that just helps every PvEer grinder. Artifacts. There's nothing really to say about this one. The artifact preset is actually pretty good. I think that's about it. When you open it, it just swaps it out. And we talked about that in another video of like what I use. So if you just want to see it, that's cool. But even if you don't have 20, realistically, you only need like 3 or 4 different presets and you'll be fine. So anyway, artifacts, nothing to say about that one. That's fine. Crystal preset, once again, nothing really wrong with that one. I think they could have, I feel like in the future, they're probably going to sell more presets because people are going to have it for every grind spot that uses something different. So I feel like that's just coming in the future. But yeah, I think overall, the all-in-one preset, it's just straight up right now is not as useful as I thought it would be. I think a lot of people say the same thing as well. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm like, hey, so what do you think of this all-in-one preset? And everyone's just like, it sucks, because it doesn't do the core things that we expected it to do. So yeah, once again, recap of what I would like to see improved in the all-in-one preset. Auto use preset. So instead of just picking what it does, I would like to see a checkbox that allows you to, actually turn on the fairy if you have the continuous care. Like the way I would see it in the UI is, if you don't have the continuous care skill, there should be a box, but it's just like grayed out because you can't use it. But if you do have it, then I think that would overall help everyone. So like people see this and it's like, oh, I don't have this skill, maybe I should get it. Pearl Abyss gets more money because people are re-rolling, and the people who do have it, they're happy because it's, actually useful. Pet group, set it to agile, and then maybe a step further on pet commands. Not that I think that this is really relevant, but if you're going to do anything, make it set from cautious, normal, and agile, because overall good. And if you don't want to use it, you just don't mess with the checkbox. And then, another option that they could add is Alkstone. Just have like a checkbox over here, and it does the same thing functionally. So like when you, like, let's say you hit apply, it turns everything you have checked on. And then another box over here that says like turn on or turn off, something similar or equivalent. And then you could turn all of this off and then all of it on at once. I think that would be cool. When you finish your grind, all your pets go back onto green mode or cautious, and then when it's active, they can go to red. That would be awesome. Alkstone on and off. I've seen so many people just leave their Alkstone on simply because it's just like you forget to turn it off. That's ultimately the things I want to see with it. And then I guess like if they wanted to go further above and beyond to make it like perfect, you could switch your outfit. Like let's say you're a PvPer and you want to, switch into your ghillie suit or whatever. If you're PvEing and you're doing something that requires water or, something like that, you could have it set to, change your gear and outfit to like, Monos clothes or whatever pre-owned stuff you're using, or something that allows you to swim faster. That would be actually more useful than like the skill preset. And I think overall, step in the right direction. It just is missing literally all of the core effects that people want to see with the all-in-one preset. So yeah, that's what I think. Also, for the record, I wanted to say that, you know, this is just like a small complaint. You see these old ones, the Pertrigio's bags, versus the new ones, the Merv ones. I like the Pertrigio ones more, simply because it doesn't swap like all your weapons and stuff as well. So like the bottom 4 things, if you have it as cosmetics, you just keep those on. What really matters is the gear swap. So like if you're doing like processing, any sort of life skilling. Yeah, that's one other thing that I would like to see added in the all-in-one. So yeah, I feel like all it really took is if someone who was developing this like feature actually grinded for 1 hour with full buffs, you would know the problem with all of this. And yeah, so anyway, with that said, that's my feedback. I think this is what a lot of people have asked for as well, and it's just missing everything people wanted, so it's just like missed the mark. But hopefully maybe someone will see this video and feedback will be sent, and maybe it'll be fixed in the future. There's probably a bunch of forum posts that people posted already, but who knows if anyone reads that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think as well, if you have any other feedback as well that you would include in the stuff that they added. And I will see you guys later. Peace.